The metal trash can lid crashes to the concrete floor at 4:47 in the morning. The sound is violent, obscene, tearing through the darkness of the Nissen hut like a fragmentation grenade. Staff Sergeant Eugene Moran is awake before his eyes open. His hand is already balled into a fist. His heart is already hammering. This is how it always starts. This is how every day of his life now starts. He lies still for 3 seconds. 4. 5. He counts. It is a trick he learned from his father, a farmer who taught him that panic is a luxury for people who can afford to fail. In the darkness, he forces his heart to slow down. He forces his hand to unclench. He listens to the wind rattling the corrugated iron roof and the sound of 9 other men pretending to still be asleep. No one speaks. No one ever speaks in these first moments. The hut is a tomb of breathing. Moran swings his legs out of the bunk. His feet hit the cold concrete, and he feels the dampness immediately, seeping through his wool socks. The Nissen hut is always damp. It is a dampness that gets into the bones, into the lungs, into the photographs the men keep of their girls back home, curling the edges and turning them yellow. The English winter is not like the Wisconsin winter. Wisconsin is honest cold. This is something else. This is a cold that waits. He dresses by touch. Thermal long johns, wool shirt, olive drab flight trousers. He knows every button, every zipper, every fold of fabric. He has done this 100 times. He will do it 100 more, or he will do it for the last time. There is no way to know which. At the small wooden table in the center of the hut, a single candle burns. It was placed there by someone else, someone who woke even earlier, someone who needed the light to write their own last words. Moran sits down. From his jacket pocket, he pulls out a V-mail sheet. The paper is thin, almost transparent. It is designed to be photographed and shipped overseas on microfilm, a small piece of a man's life reduced to chemicals and celluloid. He uncaps his fountain pen. The nib hovers. Dear Mom, I am writing this on the morning of my 13th mission. They say 13 is unlucky. I do not believe in luck. I believe in the number 4. 4 engines, 4 guns in the tail, 4 men in my family. You, Dad, Mary, and me. If I think about the number 4, I think I will be fine. He stops. He reads what he has written. It is stupid. It is the rambling of a frightened child. He thinks about his mother reading these words in their kitchen in Wisconsin, standing at the sink with the morning light coming through the window, holding this thin piece of paper that smells of nothing, that carries no trace of him, no trace of the fear, no trace of the cold, no trace of the blood. He crumples the paper. The sound is loud, too loud. On the other side of the hut, a man named Petruccelli sits up suddenly in his bunk. Petruccelli is a waist gunner from Brooklyn. He has a wife and a baby daughter he has never seen. In the dim light, his eyes are wide open, staring at nothing. You hear that? Petruccelli whispers. Moran freezes. Hear what? Petruccelli keeps staring at the wall. The baby. I heard the baby crying. Moran says nothing. There is no baby. There is only the wind and the rain and the dying embers of the stove. Petruccelli lies back down. He does not close his eyes. He just lies there, staring at the curved metal ceiling, waiting for the sound to come again. It does not come. It never comes. But Petruccelli will hear it every morning until he dies, or until someone else dies, whichever comes first. At 0500, the charge of quarters hits the trash can again. His voice is bored, mechanical, the voice of a man who has done this too many times. "Showtime! Breakfast in 30. Briefing at 6. Let's go, ladies. The war isn't going to wait for you." The hut erupts. Men groaning. Men cursing. Men fumbling for lighters and cigarettes. The smell of sulfur and tobacco fills the air. No one looks at each other. No one asks where they are going. That is the rule. You do not ask. You do not wonder. You just go. Moran folds the crumpled letter and puts it in his pocket. He will keep it. He keeps all of them. 37 crumpled letters in his footlocker. 37 mornings he tried to say something true and failed. Breakfast is powdered eggs and bacon that tastes of salt and smoke. The mess hall is a Quonset hut filled with long tables and the sound of chewing. 500 men eating in near silence. The only conversation is about the weather over England, the weather over the North Sea, the weather over Germany. Weather is the only thing they are allowed to talk about, the only thing that does not feel like a confession. Moran sits next to Lieutenant Cohen, the navigator. Cohen is from Boston. His parents own a small grocery store in Dorchester. He went to Harvard for 1 year before the war, and the other men never let him forget it. Cohen is eating his eggs methodically, chewing each bite exactly 20 times. He does not look at his food. He looks at the wall. 13, Cohen says quietly. Not to Moran. To himself. 13 today. Moran does not respond. He knows what Cohen means. 13 missions. The average was 11. 11 missions before a bomber crew was shot down, killed, or captured. They were living on borrowed time. They had been living on borrowed time for 2 months. The briefing hut is at 0555. The men file in and take their seats on the wooden benches. The air is thick with cigarette smoke and the smell of unwashed bodies. At the front of the room, a red velvet curtain covers the map. It is always closed. It is always red. It always looks like a curtain hiding a stage where a play is about to begin. But the play is always the same. The play ends the same way, for too many of them. The briefing officer is a colonel named Reeves. He has a face like carved granite and eyes that have not blinked in 20 years. He walks to the podium and nods to a sergeant. The sergeant pulls the cord. The red curtain parts. The map of Europe is huge, covering the entire wall. A red ribbon of yarn stretches from East Anglia across the North Sea and stops at a city in northern Germany. Bremen. The name hangs in the air like a death sentence. A sound goes through the room. It is not a groan. It is not a sigh. It is something else. Something lower. Something that comes from the stomach. It is the sound of 500 men realizing that today is the day. Reeves begins his briefing. His voice is flat, factual, the voice of a man reading a grocery list. The target is the Focke-Wulf aircraft assembly plants. The U-boat pens are secondary. The Germans need submarines to sink the supply ships. The supply ships bring food and ammunition to England. If the supply ships do not come, the war is lost. If the war is lost, they all die anyway. This is the logic. This is the mathematics of it. The fighter escort will be P-47 Thunderbolts. They will accompany the bombers to the Dutch coast and meet them again on the way back. The gap in between is 200 miles. 200 miles of German airspace. 200 miles of flak and fighters and burning wreckage falling from the sky. Reeves pauses. He looks at the men. For just a moment his face changes. It softens, almost imperceptibly. He has done this too many times. He has sent too many boys to die. Keep your formation, he says. No matter what. If you lose your formation, you lose your life. It's that simple. It is that simple. After the briefing, the chaplains are waiting by the door. A Catholic priest and a Protestant minister. They hand out small cards with prayers printed on them. Moran takes one from the priest. It is a picture of Saint Michael, the archangel, slaying a dragon. On the back, a prayer for those in peril. He puts it in his pocket next to the crumpled letter. The ride to the hardstand is in the back of a truck. The canvas flaps snap in the wind. The men are quiet. They watch the English countryside roll by. Green fields, stone walls, a farmer in a field, loading hay onto a cart. He looks up as the truck passes. He does not wave. He just looks. He has seen too many trucks full of young men. He knows where they are going. And then they see the airplane. The B-17 Flying Fortress sits on the concrete hardstand like something prehistoric, something that should not exist in the modern world. It is massive. It is beautiful. It is terrifying. 4 engines, 13.50 caliber machine guns, 10 men, 10,000 pounds of bombs. A machine designed for one purpose only, to go to Germany and come back, or not come back. The machine does not care. The crew chief is waiting by the nose wheel. His name is Sergeant Kowalski. He is from Chicago. He has been working on this airplane for 6 months. He knows every rivet, every wire, every patch of bare metal where the paint has worn away. He looks tired. He always looks tired. But today, there is something else in his eyes. Something Moran has not seen before. She's ready, Kowalski says to the pilot, Captain Hardison. But he does not look at Hardison when he says it. He looks at the ground. Number 3's been running rough. I did what I could. Hardison nods. He is from Texas. He is tall and lean and always calm. Nothing ever seems to bother him. Nothing ever seems to reach him. He claps Kowalski on the shoulder. She'll get us there and back. She always does. Kowalski does not answer. He just walks away, back toward the maintenance shed. He does not watch them board. He never watches. Moran walks to the rear of the airplane. The tail section rises above him, a vertical stabilizer as tall as a house. The paint is chipped and scarred. Looks like a claw mark. It 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 looks like a claw mark. Looks like a claw mark. It looks like something tried to tear the airplane open from the outside. He ducks down and crawls inside. The interior of a B-17 is a metal tube. It is dark. It is cramped. It smells of hydraulic fluid, gun oil, and fear. The fear is old. It has soaked into the metal, into the fabric of the insulation, into the very air. Every man who has ever sat in this airplane has left a little piece of his fear behind. Moran breathes it in. It tastes like copper. He makes his way past the radio room, past the waist gun positions with their open windows, and the wind already whistling through, past the ball turret hanging in its metal cradle like an iron egg. He reaches the very end, the tail gunner's position. It is a tiny compartment, the smallest compartment on the airplane. 2 plexiglass windows, scratched and cloudy, 2.50 caliber machine guns, their barrels pointing out into the empty air. A seat made of armored plate, cold to the touch. This is his office. This is his world. This is where he will live or die. Moran sits down. He begins his checks. He runs his hands over the guns. The metal is cold, even through his gloves. He checks the ammunition belts. Thousands of rounds. Each round capable of tearing through metal, through flesh, through bone. He plugs in his heated suit. He plugs in his throat microphone. The intercom crackles to life. Voices one by one. Pilot to crew, radio check. Co-pilot. Navigator. Engineer. Radio. Waist guns. Ball turret. A pause. Then, ball turret. Check again. You're breaking up. Ball turret. Is this better? Yeah, got you. Moran waits. He listens to the voices. He tries to hear something in them. Fear. Bravery. Resignation. He hears nothing. Just voices. Just men doing their job. Tail gunner, he says. His own voice sounds strange to him. Flat. Dead. Tail gunner. Ready. The engines start. One by one, they cough and spit and roar to life. The whole airplane vibrates. The noise is incredible. It is not a sound you hear. It is a sound you feel in your teeth, in your skull, in the marrow of your bones. It drowns out everything. It drowns out thought. It drowns out fear. For that, Moran is grateful. The Rikki Tikki Tavi taxis out of its hardstand. Moran looks through his plexiglass window. He sees the other bombers, dozens of them, all moving toward the runway. He sees the control tower. He sees the farmer again, the one from the field. He has stopped his tractor. He is standing in the field, looking up at the sky. He is too far away to see his face, but Moran knows what it looks like. It looks like the face of a man watching a funeral procession. The lead bomber takes off. It lifts into the gray sky, its landing gear folding up into its belly like a bird tucking its legs. Another takes off. Another. The sound builds to a roar that shakes the ground. Then it is their turn. The engines are run up to full power. The whole plane shakes violently, straining against the brakes. Moran is pressed back into his seat. The vibration is so intense he can feel his teeth chattering. And then the brakes are released. The runway races by. The tail lifts. The bumps stop. They are airborne. Moran watches the ground fall away. The farmhouse becomes a dot. The trees become a green blur. The base becomes a small patch of concrete, shrinking, until it is gone. They climb through the clouds. Gray mist streaks past the plexiglass. For a moment there is nothing but gray. No up, no down, just gray. And then suddenly they break through. The world above the clouds is impossible. The sky is so blue it hurts to look at. The sun is a white ball of fire, so bright it leaves after images on the retina. The clouds below are a solid white carpet, stretching to every horizon, flawless, perfect, as if the world below does not exist. And all around them, the bombers. Hundreds of them. They fill the sky. They are everywhere. In perfect formation, like a flock of migrating birds, they drone eastward into the sun. The sun glints off their aluminum skins. They are beautiful. They are terrifying. They are the most beautiful and terrifying thing Moran has ever seen. For a moment it is peaceful. For a moment it is almost possible to forget. Moran reaches into his pocket. He pulls out the crumpled letter and the prayer card. He looks at them. St. Michael slaying the dragon. The dragon looks like a snake. It looks like the snake from the story of the mongoose. Rikki Tikki Tavi, the little mongoose who fights the cobra, the little mongoose who wins. He tucks them back into his pocket, over his heart. He checks his guns one last time. He stares out at the endless blue sky. The formation drones on. The coast of England slips away behind them. Ahead, hidden by the beautiful white clouds, lies Bremen, lies the flak, lies the fighters, lies the thing that is waiting for them. The intercom crackles. It is Hardison. His voice is calm, steady, the voice of a man who has accepted everything. 10 minutes to the enemy coast. 10 minutes, gentlemen. Good luck. Moran grips the handles of his machine guns. He stares out the plexiglass. He waits, and then he sees it. Off to the right, maybe half a mile away, a B-17 in the high squadron is trailing smoke. Just a little. Just a thin black ribbon from the number 2 engine. It is nothing. It happens all the time. They will feather the prop. They will turn back. They will make it to the coast. They will land. They will live. Moran watches. The smoke gets thicker, blacker. Then it turns white. Then it turns orange. Flames. The number 2 engine is on fire. Moran watches the crew try to put it out. He watches the pilot dive, trying to get the slipstream to blow out the flames. It does not work. The flames spread. They crawl along the wing, eating through the aluminum, eating through the fuel lines, eating through everything. And then the wing folds. It does not explode, it folds. Slowly, gracefully, like a bird folding its wing to land. The wing folds up and back, and the airplane simply rolls over and begins to fall. It does not fall fast. It falls slowly, turning over and over, a silver leaf caught in a current of air. Moran watches. He cannot look away. The airplane falls. It falls for a long time. It falls for seconds that feel like hours. And as it falls, Moran sees something. Tiny shapes, tumbling out of the fuselage. Parachutes. 3 of them. 4. They open, blooming white against the blue sky. But there are 10 men on a B-17. The airplane continues to fall. It falls below the clouds. It disappears. Moran stares at the spot where it was. He stares at the white parachutes, drifting down, down, down toward the gray carpet of clouds, toward the enemy coast, toward whatever is waiting for them below. The formation drones on. No one speaks on the intercom. No one says a word. Moran looks at his hands. They are steady. They are perfectly, absolutely steady. He does not understand how that is possible. He looks back out the window. The clouds are thinning. Below them, the coast of Holland is visible, the enemy coast, the place where the fighters are waiting. Moran grips his guns. He waits. He waits for what comes next. The Dutch coast slides beneath them like a photograph developing in slow motion. First, the clouds break apart, ragged shreds of white that reveal the gray-green water of the Zuider Zee. Then the coastline itself, a thin brown line that thickens into dunes, into seawalls, into the flat patchwork farmland of occupied Holland. It looks peaceful from this height. It looks like a postcard. It looks like nowhere a man would try to kill you. Moran stares at it through the scratched plexiglass of his turret. He has seen this coastline before, 12 times now. 12 times he has watched it appear out of the haze, and 12 times he has watched it disappear behind him as they turned for home. Each time he has told himself that the next time would be easier. Each time he has been wrong. The intercom is silent. That is the first bad sign. Usually there is chatter. The waist gunners joking. The radio operator humming. The pilot calling out landmarks. But not today. Today the intercom is dead air, filled only with the low hum of the engines and the static hiss of the ether. No one wants to be the first to speak. No one wants to be the one to acknowledge that they have crossed the line, that they are now over enemy territory, that every second from this moment forward is borrowed time. Moran checks his guns again. He does not need to. He checked them 3 times before takeoff. He checked them twice during the climb. He has checked them a dozen times since. But his hands need something to do. His hands need to move, to touch, to feel the cold metal and the smooth triggers. If his hands are moving, they are not shaking. If his hands are moving, he is still in control. The formation holds steady. The lead bomber, a ship called Reluctant Dragon, from the 388th Bomb Group, sits at the head of the formation like a mother duck leading her ducklings. The other bombers fan out behind and beside it, each in its assigned position, each maintaining the precise distance that keeps them safe from collision and safe from the fighters. The doctrine says that formation flying is the key to survival. The guns of one ship cover the blind spots of another. Together, they are a fortress. Alone, they are a coffin. Moran has heard this 100 times. He has repeated it to himself 100 times. He is not sure he believes it anymore. The farmland below gives way to small towns. He can see the houses, tiny cubes with red roofs. He can see the roads, thin gray lines connecting the towns. He can see a train, a tiny caterpillar crawling across the landscape, pulling a plume of white smoke. It looks like a toy. It looks like something a child would play with. And somewhere down there in one of those tiny houses, in one of those toy towns, there is a family eating breakfast. There is a mother washing dishes. There is a father reading a newspaper. There are children getting ready for school. They are Germans. They are the enemy. But they look like people. They look like the people back home. Moran pushes the thought away. He cannot think like that. He cannot afford to think like that. The first flak comes at 10:47. It is not the heavy flak, not the black puffs that fill the sky like a pox. It is light flak, coming from a ship in the canal below. A few puffs of gray smoke drifting lazily upward, nowhere near the formation. Someone on the intercom laughs. It is a nervous laugh, the laugh of a man who has just seen death and realized it was aimed at someone else. "Friendly fire," someone says. "They're just saying hello." Moran does not laugh. He watches the puffs dissipate, swallowed by the wind. He knows what is coming. He has seen it before. The light flak is just the beginning. It is the scout. It is the messenger. It tells the gunners on the ground that the bombers are coming, that they should warm up their guns, that they should prepare. The heavy flak starts at 10:52. It comes without warning. 1 second the sky is clear. The next it is filled with black flowers, blooming in slow motion, each one appearing with a soft crump that vibrates through the airframe. The flak is all around them, above them, below them, to the left, to the right. The sky is turning black. Moran watches a puff appear directly in front of the lead bomber. The bomber flies through it, emerging on the other side, unchanged. He watches another puff appear to his right, so close he can see the shards of metal spinning outward, glittering in the sun. The shards are beautiful. They catch the light like diamonds. They are diamonds that can tear through aluminum, through plexiglass, through flesh and bone. The bomber to his left, a ship called Misbehavin', takes a hit. It is not a big hit. Just a small puff of smoke from the wing root, just a piece of metal torn away, just a hole the size of a dinner plate. But from that hole something begins to stream. It is fuel. Clear, vaporizing, highly flammable fuel. It streams out behind the bomber like a ribbon, like a trail, like a road map pointing directly to the wounded ship. The pilot of Misbehavin' does what he is supposed to do. He reduces power. He feathers the engine on that side. He tries to stop the leak, but the fuel keeps coming. It keeps streaming. And somewhere up there, in the cold blue sky, the fighters are watching. Moran sees them before anyone calls them out. They are just specks at first, high above and to the east, catching the sun. They grow larger. They grow faster. They are not bombers. They are too small, too quick, too hungry. "Bandits!" The call comes from the waist gunner, Petricelli. His voice is high, strained. "Bandits at 2 o'clock high." Moran swivels his turret. He tracks the specks. There are 6 of them. Then 8, then a dozen. They are Focke-Wulf, 190s, the best fighters the Luftwaffe has. They are radial-engined, stubby-winged, deadly. They are diving on the formation, their noses pointed down, their speed building with every second. The bomber formation tightens. The pilots pull their ships closer together, reducing the gaps, making it harder for the fighters to slip through. The gunners swing their weapons, tracking, waiting, holding their fire until the range is right. Moran's hands are on his triggers. His eyes are on the lead fighter. The fighter is growing larger. It is coming straight at them, straight at the formation, straight at the Rikki Tikki Tavi. It is going to fly right through the formation. It is going to fire as it passes. It is going to kill someone. The fighter opens fire at 800 yards. Moran sees the muzzle flashes, tiny lights winking on the wings and nose. He sees the tracer rounds, glowing orange, arcing toward the formation. He hears the sound, a ripping, tearing sound, like canvas being shredded. And then the rounds are past him, past the tail, past the whole airplane, and he is still alive, still breathing, still gripping his triggers. He fires back. His guns roar. The vibration shakes his whole body. The spent shell casings clatter against the floor of his turret, piling up around his feet. He sees his tracers streaming toward the fighter, sees them passing behind it, sees them disappearing into the sky. He is not hitting anything. He is just making noise. He is just adding to the chaos. The fighter flashes past, so close he can see the pilot's face. It is a young face, younger than his own. The pilot is not looking at him. He is looking ahead, looking for his next target, looking for the next bomber in his sights. Moran tracks him. He keeps firing. He keeps missing. The sky is a storm of metal now. Tracers in every direction, flak bursting everywhere. Bombers turning, diving, climbing, trying to evade, trying to survive. The formation is breaking apart. The perfect boxes are dissolving into chaos. Every man for himself. Every ship for itself. Moran sees a B-17 to his right, maybe 500 yards away, take a burst of cannon fire directly in the nose. The plexiglass disintegrates. The nose gunner, if he was there, if he was alive, is gone. The bomber noses over, drops out of formation, begins a long, slow spiral toward the ground. No parachutes, no escape, just the spiral, just the fall, just the end. He looks away. He cannot watch. He has to watch. He has to see what is coming for him. Another fighter. This one is coming from below, from his blind spot, but he sees it at the last second. A dark shape sliding under the tail. He depresses his guns, fires, fires, fires. The fighter pulls up, banks hard, disappears into the sun. Did he hit it? He does not know. He will never know. The intercom crackles. It is the ball turret gunner, a tiny man named Giordano who spends every mission curled in a fetal position in his plastic bubble under the belly of the ship. "I'm hit! I'm hit!" Moran's blood freezes. Giordano, the ball turret. If the turret is hit, if the hydraulics are gone, Giordano is trapped. There is no way to get him out. The turret cannot be opened from the inside. It has to be cranked from the outside. And they are over Germany, and they are under attack, and no one can get to him. How bad? The pilot's voice, calm, steady. Giordano, how bad? A pause. Then Giordano's voice again, weaker now. My leg. It's my leg. It's gone. I think it's gone. Moran fires at another fighter. He does not see it. He does not aim. He just fires. He fires because he has to do something. He fires because if he stops, he will hear Giordano. He will hear the screaming that has not started yet. The fighters break off. They always break off. They hit hard. They hit fast. And then they are gone, regrouping, rearming, waiting for the next wave. The sky empties as quickly as it filled. 1 second, there are a dozen fighters. The next, there are none. Only the bombers remain. Only the bombers and the flak and the smoke and the dead. Moran looks for Misbehaven, the ship with the fuel leak. It is still there, still flying, still streaming fuel. But the stream is thinner now. Maybe they stopped it. Maybe they will make it. He looks for Giordano's ship. It is still there too, still flying, still fighting. He does not know if Giordano is alive. He does not know if Giordano is screaming. He does not know anything. The intercom is silent again. No one asks about Giordano. No one asks about anything. They just fly. They just keep flying east, toward Bremen, toward the target, toward whatever is waiting for them there. Moran looks down at his feet. The spent shell casings are piled halfway up his calves. He kicks at them, clearing a space. The smell of cordite fills his turret, sharp and acrid. It is the smell of survival. It is the smell of death. The coast is behind them now. The farms and towns are behind them. Below them, the German countryside rolls on, flat and green and indifferent. It does not care about the war. It does not care about the men dying in the sky above it. It just lies there, patient, waiting for the bombs to fall. Moran thinks about Giordano. He thinks about the ball turret, the plastic bubble, the tiny man curled inside. He thinks about the leg that is gone. He thinks about the blood, pooling in the bottom of the turret, freezing in the cold air, turning to ice. He pushes the thought away. He cannot think about it. He has to think about the next wave. He has to think about the fighters that will come again. He has to think about the flak that is getting thicker, closer, more accurate with every mile. The flak is heavier now. The Germans have their range. The black puffs are everywhere, so close that Moran can hear the shrapnel rattling against the skin of the airplane. Ting, ting, ting. Like hail on a tin roof, like pebbles thrown by a child, like the sound of death knocking, asking to come in. A piece of shrapnel punches through the plexiglass. It happens so fast Moran does not even see it. 1 second, the plexiglass is intact. The next, there is a hole the size of his thumb, 6 inches from his face. The wind screams through it, a high-pitched whistle that cuts through the engine noise, through the flak bursts, through everything. The cold air hits him like a wall. It is so cold it burns. He stares at the hole. He stares at the jagged edges of the plexiglass, the way the light catches them, the way they sparkle. He thinks about what would have happened if the shrapnel had been 6 inches to the left. He thinks about his head. He thinks about his face. He thinks about the hole that would be there instead of the hole in the plexiglass. He does not move. He cannot move. He just stares. The intercom crackles again. It is the pilot. 10 minutes to IP. The IP, the initial point, the place where they turn toward the target, where they begin their bomb run, where they fly straight and level into the teeth of the flak, where they cannot evade, cannot dodge, cannot do anything but fly and pray and die. 10 minutes. Moran forces himself to look away from the hole. He forces himself to check his guns. They are still working. He has plenty of ammunition. He has plenty of everything except time. He looks out at the formation. It is ragged now. Ships are missing. Ships that were there an hour ago are gone. He counts. There were 36 in the group when they crossed the coast. Now there are 28. 8 ships, 80 men, gone, in less than an hour. He does not know any of them. He does not know their names. He does not know their faces. But he knows what they looked like this morning. He knows they ate breakfast in the same mess hall. He knows they sat in the same briefing. He knows they were alive, and now they are not. And the formation flies on without them, filling the gaps, closing the ranks, pretending they never existed. That is the way it works. That is the way it has to work. If you stop to mourn, you die. If you stop to think, you die. If you stop to feel, you die. The only way to survive is to keep moving, keep fighting, keep flying east toward the target, toward the flak, toward whatever is waiting for you there. Moran keeps flying. The target is getting closer. He can see it now, a haze on the horizon, a smudge of smoke and industry. Bremen, the city that kills bombers, the city that has killed thousands of men, just like him. The city that is waiting to kill him too. The flak is continuous now. There is no break between bursts. It is just one long rolling thunder, one continuous shaking of the airframe, one endless rattle of shrapnel against the skin. The Rikki Tikki Tavi shudders with every hit. It shudders and shakes and groans like a living thing, like an animal in pain. Moran looks at the wings. They are still there. They are still attached. They are still carrying the bombs, still carrying the fuel, still carrying him toward the target. He looks at the engines. They are still running. Number 3 is smoking a little, just a thin trail, just a wisp. But it is still running. They are all still running. He does not know how. He does not know why. He just knows that they are, and that he is still alive, and that the target is getting closer. The bomb bay doors open. He hears it, more than feels it. The hydraulic whine, the clunk of the doors locking into place. The bombs are armed. The bombs are ready. In a few minutes they will fall. In a few minutes the city below will burn. In a few minutes people will die. German people, enemy people, people who look like people. Moran does not think about that. He cannot think about that. He thinks about the flak. He thinks about the fighters. He thinks about the next few minutes, the next few seconds, the next few heartbeats. He thinks about surviving. The intercom crackles. The pilot's voice, calm, steady. The voice of a man who has accepted everything. Bomb run starting. Hold her steady, boys. Hold her steady. Moran holds her steady. He grips his guns. He stares out at the black sky, the bursting flak, the burning city below. He waits for what comes next. He does not have to wait long. The bomb run is a straight line into hell. Moran has done this 12 times before. He has flown through flak over Hamburg, over Hanover, over Kiel. He has watched bombers disintegrate around him, has heard the screams of dying men over the intercom, has felt the shock waves of near misses shake his own ship like a terrier shaking a rat. But he has never seen anything like this. He has never seen Bremen. The flak is not bursts anymore. It is a solid curtain. It is a wall of black smoke and orange flame and spinning steel that stretches from the ground to the sky, from one horizon to the other. The bombers fly into it and disappear. They fly out the other side, and you count them again, and you wonder how many are still there, how many are still flying, how many are still alive. The Rikki Tikki Tavi shudders constantly now. The shudders are not separate events. They are a continuous vibration, a long, deep rumble that Moran feels in his teeth, in his spine, in the marrow of his bones. The shrapnel rattles against the skin like a million tiny hammers. Ting, 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 a non-stop percussion, a drumbeat of destruction. Moran stares out his plexiglass. He cannot see the sky anymore. He cannot see the other bombers. He can only see the flak. It is everywhere. It fills his world. It is the only thing that exists. A bomber to his right takes a direct hit. It is not a gradual thing. There is no trail of smoke, no dying engine, no slow spiral toward the ground. 1 second, the bomber is there, a solid shape in the flak-filled sky. The next second, it is not. It is just a ball of fire, an expanding sphere of orange and black, a shock wave that slams into the Rikki Tikki Tavi and throws it sideways like a toy. Moran's head hits the plexiglass. He feels the impact, feels the sting, feels the warm trickle of blood starting down his forehead. He does not have time to wipe it away. He does not have time to think about it. He is too busy grabbing his guns, too busy trying to stay conscious, too busy waiting for the next hit, the next explosion, the next death. The bomber that was there is gone. The 10 men inside it are gone. They existed, and now they do not. That is all. That is the mathematics of it. The intercom screams. It is not words. It is just sound. A high, thin, keening wail that cuts through the engine noise, through the flak bursts, through everything. It is the sound of a man dying. It is the sound of a man who knows he is about to die and cannot stop it, cannot change it, cannot do anything but scream. Moran does not know who it is. He does not know if it is someone he knows, someone he has eaten with, someone he has laughed with, someone he has sat next to in the briefing hut. He does not know anything except the sound. The sound goes on and on and on, and then it stops. The silence is worse. The silence is a void where a man used to be. The silence is a hole in the world. The bombs fall away. Moran feels the lurch as the Rikki Tikki Tavi rises, suddenly 10,000 pounds lighter. He looks down, through the flak, through the smoke, and he sees them. The bombs. Hundreds of them. Thousands of them. Falling in a long, dark stream toward the city below. They are beautiful. They are terrible. They are the reason he is here. He watches them fall. He watches them shrink, become specks, become nothing. He watches the city below disappear under a carpet of explosions. The fires start immediately. They spread quickly. They consume everything. Moran thinks about the people down there, the people in the houses, the people in the factories, the people who are burning. He thinks about the mothers and the fathers and the children. He thinks about the way they look, the way they scream, the way they die. He pushes the thoughts away. He has to push them away. If he does not push them away, he will not be able to do his job. If he does not do his job, he will die. If he dies, his mother will get a telegram. If his mother gets a telegram, she will never stop crying. That is the chain. That is the logic. That is the only thing that matters. The bomb run ends. The formation turns. They are heading west now, heading for home, heading for the coast, heading for England. But home is 200 miles away, 200 miles of flak, 200 miles of fighters, 200 miles of dying. The flak follows them. It does not stop, it does not slow, it follows them like a living thing, like a predator that will not let go. The gunners on the ground are good. They are very good. They know the escape routes. They know the altitudes. They know exactly where the bombers will be and when they will be there. Another bomber takes a hit. This one is behind Moran, to the left. He sees it in his side mirrors. He sees the wing come off. He sees the bomber roll over and begin its long fall. He sees the parachutes. 3 of them. 4. They open, white against the black smoke. He watches them drift down toward the burning city, toward the crowds, toward the men with rifles and bayonets and hatred in their eyes. He does not know if they will survive. He does not know if they will be shot. He does not know anything except that they are falling, and he is flying, and the distance between them is growing. The fighters come again. They come from the sun, as they always do. They come from the east, from the direction of the rising sun, from the place where the light is brightest and the shadows are deepest. Moran does not see them until they are already firing. He does not see them until the tracers are already passing his turret, until the bullets are already tearing through the skin of the Rikki Tikki Tavi. He fires back. He fires at the shapes, at the flashes, at the places where the fighters might be. He fires because that is all he can do. He fires because if he stops firing, he will start thinking. He will start thinking about Giordano. He will start thinking about the screaming on the intercom. He will start thinking about his mother, standing at the kitchen sink in Wisconsin, waiting for a letter that will never come. The fighters press the attack. They are more aggressive now. They know the bombers are wounded. They know the bombers are low on fuel and low on ammunition and low on hope. They swarm like wolves around a wounded deer. They bite and tear and rip and do not stop. Moran sees a fighter explode. It is not his. He did not hit it. It was hit by a waist gunner, maybe, or a ball turret, or maybe it just flew into its own flak. It does not matter. It is gone. The pilot is gone. The young man with the young face is gone. He is just another name on another list, another telegram to another mother, another empty chair at another dinner table. The Rikki Tikki Tavi lurches again. This hit is different. This hit is harder. This hit is lower. Moran feels it in the tail. He feels it in the structure. He feels it in the way the whole airplane shudders and groans and does not stop shuddering, does not stop groaning. He looks around. He looks at the walls of his turret. He looks at the floor. He looks at the ceiling. He sees nothing. He sees only metal and plexiglass and the spent shell casings piling up around his feet. But he feels it. He feels the change. He feels the way the airplane is flying differently, the way it is handling differently, the way it is struggling to stay in the air. The intercom crackles. It is the pilot. His voice is not calm anymore. It is not steady. It is something else. It is something Moran has never heard before. We're hit. We're hit bad. Number 2 engine is out. Number 3 is losing power. We're losing altitude. We're losing formation. Moran listens. He waits for the rest. He waits for the orders. He waits for someone to tell him what to do. The pilot speaks again. We have to drop back. We have to drop out of formation. We can't keep up. Moran's blood freezes, dropping out of formation, dropping back. That is the death sentence. That is what happened to the bomber with the fuel leak. That is what happened to all of them. The stragglers die. The stragglers always die. The Rikki Tikki Tavi slows. Moran feels it in the change of engine pitch, in the change of vibration, in the change of everything. The bomber is falling back. It is sliding out of the formation. It is becoming a straggler. Moran watches the other bombers pull away. He watches them shrink. He watches them become specks, become nothing. He watches the formation disappear into the haze, into the west, into home. He watches them go, and he knows he will never see them again. The sky is empty now, empty except for the flak, empty except for the smoke, empty except for the Rikki Tikki Tavi, alone, wounded, dying, falling through the sky over Germany. Moran looks out his plexiglass. He looks at the hole. The hole is still there. The wind is still screaming through it. The cold is still burning. He looks at his guns. They are still there. They are still loaded. They are still ready. He waits. He waits for the fighters. He knows they will come. They always come. They smell blood. They smell death. They smell the end. The first fighter appears at 2:37 in the afternoon. It is a Messerschmitt 109. It is small and fast and deadly. It approaches from the rear, from directly behind the tail, from the place where Moran is supposed to protect. It approaches slowly, carefully, like a hunter stalking wounded prey. Moran tracks it. He puts his sights on it. He waits. He waits for the range to close. He waits for the moment when he cannot miss. The fighter opens fire at 600 yards. Moran opens fire at the same instant. The tracers cross. The streams intersect. The sky between them fills with light. Moran feels the rounds hitting his turret. He feels the impacts. He feels the plexiglass shattering. He feels the metal tearing. He feels the wind rushing in, cold and hard, and filled with the smell of cordite and blood. He keeps firing. He keeps firing even when he cannot see. He keeps firing even when the fighter is past him, even when it is gone, even when there is nothing left to fire at. He stops. He looks around. He looks at his turret. It is destroyed. The plexiglass is gone. Most of it, anyway. There are just jagged edges left, just shards, just pieces. The wind is a hurricane. The cold is unbearable. The noise is incredible. He looks at himself. He looks at his hands. They are still there. They are still attached. They are still working. He looks at his legs. They are still there. He looks at his chest. He looks at his stomach. He looks at everything he can see. He is alive. He is alive, and the fighter is gone, and the Rikki Tikki Tavi is still flying. But not for long. The second fighter comes from the side. The third comes from below. The fourth comes from above. They come from everywhere. They come from every direction. They fill the sky. They fill the world. They fill everything. Moran fires. He fires at all of them. He fires at none of them. He fires because that is all he can do. He fires because if he stops, he will die. He fires because if he dies, his mother will never stop crying. The Rikki Tikki Tavi is being torn apart. Moran feels it. He feels the hits. He feels the way the structure is failing, the way the metal is bending, the way the whole airplane is coming apart around him. The intercom is dead. Has been dead for minutes, hours. He does not know. He does not know anything except the guns, except the triggers, except the endless stream of tracers pouring out of his turret. And then he hears it. It is not a sound he hears with his ears. It is a sound he feels with his body. It is a deep, grinding, tearing sound. It is the sound of metal failing. It is the sound of the end. The Rikki Tikki Tavi is breaking in half. Moran feels the lurch. He feels the way the tail separates from the rest of the airplane. He feels the way the world spins. He feels the way the floor drops out from under him, the way the walls disappear, the way everything becomes chaos. The tail falls. It falls through the sky. It falls through the flak. It falls through the fighters. It falls through everything. Moran is inside it. Moran is strapped to his seat. Moran is falling with the tail, falling toward the ground, falling toward the end. He looks out through the place where the plexiglass used to be. He sees the rest of the Rikki Tikki Tavi. He sees the wings. He sees the fuselage. He sees the cockpit. He sees it falling too, falling separately, falling away from him. He sees it get smaller. He sees it get farther. He sees it disappear into the clouds. He is alone. He is alone in the tail of a B-17, falling through the sky over Germany, falling toward the ground, falling toward whatever is waiting for him there. The wind screams. The cold burns. The world spins. Moran closes his eyes. He thinks about his mother. He thinks about the kitchen. He thinks about the morning light coming through the window. He thinks about the letter he never wrote, the words he never said, the life he never lived. He waits for the ground. He does not have to wait long. The world is a tornado of noise and motion. Moran's body slams against the walls of the turret as the tail section tumbles through the sky. He is a rag doll, a sack of bones and flesh, thrown left, then right, then up, then down. The centrifugal force pins him to the armored seat, then rips him away from it, then slams him back down again. His head strikes the remaining fragments of plexiglass. His shoulder strikes the metal frame of the guns. His legs fly out from under him. kicking at the empty air where the floor used to be. He cannot see. The world is a blur of gray and brown and green, spinning, spinning, spinning. The sky is where the ground should be. The ground is where the sky should be. There is no up. There is no down. There is only the spin, only the fall, only the endless tumbling through the cold German air. His hands find something. Metal. The base of one of the guns. He grips it. He holds on. He holds on because if he lets go, he will be thrown out into the void. He will become just another piece of debris, just another falling object, just another body tumbling toward the earth. The wind screams through the shattered turret. It is a physical force, a solid thing that pounds against him, that tears at his clothes, that tries to rip him from his grip and throw him into the sky. The cold is beyond cold. It is a burning. It is a fire of ice that consumes his face, his hands, every exposed inch of his skin. He opens his eyes. He forces them open. He has to see. He has to know. The view is insane. The tail section is spinning like a leaf in a hurricane. Around him, fragments of the Rikki Tikki Tavi tumble through the air. A piece of wing, still burning. A section of fuselage, trailing wires and cables. A body. A man. One of the crew. It tumbles past him, so close he could almost reach out and touch it. The man's arms are spread wide. His eyes are open. He is already dead. He does not know he is falling. Moran does not recognize him. He cannot tell who it is. The face is wrong. The face is slack and empty, and nothing like the face of the man who ate breakfast this morning, who sat in the briefing, who laughed at someone's joke on the way to the hard stand. The body tumbles away. It gets smaller. It disappears into the clouds below. Below? There is a below now. The spin is slowing. The tail section is stabilizing. It is finding its balance. It is falling straight down, like a stone, like a coffin dropped from a great height. Moran looks down. Through the gaping hole where the fuselage used to be, he can see the ground. It is far away. It is very far away. But it is getting closer. It is getting closer with every second. He has to get out. He has to find his parachute. He has to jump. He looks for the parachute. It was there, on the wall of the turret, clipped to a bracket. He checked it this morning. He checked it 100 times. It was there. It was always there. It is not there now. The bracket is empty. The parachute is gone. It must have been torn away during the spin. It must have been ripped from its moorings and thrown out into the sky. It is falling somewhere above him, or below him, or maybe it is already on the ground, already lying in some farmer's field, already useless, already dead. Moran has no parachute. He stares at the empty bracket. He stares at it for a long time, a second, 2 seconds, 3. Time is strange now. It moves differently. It stretches and compresses and does not mean anything anymore. No parachute. He is going to die. The thought arrives calmly. It does not panic him. It does not terrify him. It just arrives like a fact, like a piece of information, like something he has always known but never acknowledged. He is going to die. He is going to hit the ground. He is going to be broken into pieces. He is going to be nothing. He looks at the ground. It is closer now. He can see fields, green fields, brown fields, a patchwork of farms and forests. It looks soft from here. It looks like something you could fall into and survive. He knows it is not soft. He knows it is hard. He knows it is the hardest thing there is. The tail section falls. The wind screams. The cold burns. Moran thinks about his mother. He thinks about her face. He thinks about the way she looked the last time he saw her, standing on the platform at the train station, waving goodbye, crying but trying not to cry, trying to be brave for her son who was going to war. He thinks about his father. He thinks about the farm. He thinks about the cornfields in summer, the way they looked from the top of the silo, the way the wind moved through them like waves on a green sea. He thinks about Mary, his sister, younger than him. 16 years old. She wrote him letters every week. She told him about school, about her friends, about the boys she liked. She told him to be careful. She told him to come home. He is not going home. The ground is closer. He can see trees now. Individual trees, their branches, their leaves. He can see a road, a car, a tiny car moving along a tiny road. He can see a house, a farmhouse, red roof, white walls, smoke coming from the chimney. People live there. People are down there. German people, enemy people, people who will find his body, people who will bury him or burn him or just leave him in a field for the crows. He does not want to be found. He does not want to be buried in German soil. He does not want to lie forever in a place his mother will never find, never visit, never put flowers on his grave. But he has no choice. He has no parachute. He has no control. He has nothing except the fall, except the wind, except the ground rushing up to meet him. The tail section hits a pocket of turbulence. It lurches. It twists. It throws Moran against the wall again. Something breaks. He feels it. A rib. Maybe a rib. The pain is sharp and bright and immediate. It is the pain of a living body. A body that is still alive, still fighting, still refusing to die. The pain wakes something in him. He is not dead yet. He is not dead. He is falling, yes. He is going to die, probably. But he is not dead yet. And as long as he is not dead, there is something he can do. There is always something. He looks around the turret. He looks at everything. The guns. The empty ammunition boxes. The twisted metal. The shattered plexiglass. The floor that is not there anymore. The floor. He looks at where the floor used to be. It is a hole now. A hole that opens onto empty air. A hole that leads to the ground, far below. But the hole is not completely empty. There is something there, something attached to the side of the turret, something he did not see before. It is a piece of canvas. A canvas bag, the emergency kit. It is still there, still attached, still hanging from its bracket. It was not torn away. It survived. The emergency kit contains things: food, water, first aid, a map, a compass, a flashlight. It does not contain a parachute. Moran stares at the kit. He stares at it for a long time. He thinks about what is inside it. He thinks about the map. He thinks about the compass. He thinks about the food and the water and the first aid. He will not need any of it. He will be dead in a minute. Maybe less. But he is not dead yet. He reaches for the kit. He grabs it. He pulls it toward him. He clips it to his belt. He does not know why. He does not know what good it will do. But he does it anyway. He does it because it is something. It is an action. It is a choice. The ground is very close now. He can see individual blades of grass. He can see the texture of the soil. He can see the stones in the field. He closes his eyes. He thinks about his mother one more time. He thinks about the kitchen. He thinks about the morning light. He thinks about the way she smiled when he told her he loved her. He told her every time he saw her. Every time. He never forgot. He never let a goodbye pass without saying it. I love you, Mom. The words are in his head. They are the last words in his head. The tail section hits the trees. The impact is not what he expected. It is not a crash. It is not a smash. It is a tearing, a ripping, a long and violent struggle between metal and wood. The trees grab the tail section. They hold it. They tear at it. They slow it down. They break its fall. Branches slam into Moran. They whip across his face. They tear his clothes. They cut his skin. The tail section spins again, twists again, fights against the trees that are trying to stop it. And then it stops. The silence is absolute. Moran opens his eyes. He is alive. He is in the tail section. The tail section is in a tree. It is wedged between two massive branches, 20 feet above the ground. It is tilted at a crazy angle. It is barely held in place. It could fall at any moment. But it is not falling. Not now. Not yet. Moran breathes. He takes a breath. The air is cold and clean and smells of pine. It is the most beautiful thing he has ever smelled. He is alive. He looks around. The turret is destroyed. The guns are bent. The walls are torn. But he is alive. He is alive, and he is in a tree, and he is 20 feet above the ground in the middle of Germany, and he has no parachute and no weapons and no idea where he is. He hears something. Voices. Men's voices. Speaking German. Shouting. They are close. They are very close. Moran freezes. He stops breathing. He listens. The voices are coming from the ground, from below the tree. Men are running toward the crash site. Men with guns. Men who will capture him. Men who will kill him. He looks down. Through the branches he can see them. 3 men. Farmers, maybe. Or soldiers. They are carrying rifles. They are pointing at the tree. They are pointing at him. One of them shouts. The words are German. Moran does not understand them. But he understands the meaning. He understands the tone. They have seen him. They know he is there. Moran presses himself against the metal of the turret. He tries to disappear. He tries to become part of the wreckage. He tries to be invisible. The men below are talking. They are arguing. One of them wants to climb the tree. Another wants to shoot. A third wants to wait for someone else. Someone with authority. Someone who knows what to do. Moran listens. He does not move. He does not breathe. He just listens and waits and hopes. The minutes pass. They are the longest minutes of his life. The men below finally make a decision. They are not going to climb. They are not going to shoot. They are going to wait. They are going to wait for reinforcements. They are going to wait for someone who knows how to handle this. They step back from the tree. They light cigarettes. They talk among themselves. They wait. Moran waits too. He waits in the shattered tail of his bomber, 20 feet above the ground, surrounded by enemies, with no way out and no hope of rescue. He waits for whatever comes next. He does not have to wait long. The light is dying. Moran watches it through the torn metal of his turret, watches the blue of the sky fade to gray, fade to purple, fade to black. The sun is going down behind the trees, behind the German forest, behind the enemy land that stretches in every direction for hundreds of miles. With the sun goes the warmth. The cold returns, deeper now, harder now, a cold that seeps into the bones and does not let go. The men below have not moved. They stand in a loose circle, their rifles slung over their shoulders, their cigarettes glowing in the gathering darkness. They talk in low voices, words Moran cannot understand but can feel. They are waiting. They are patient. They know he cannot go anywhere. They know the tree will not hold forever. They know the end is just a matter of time. Moran's body screams at him. His ribs, the ones he broke in the fall, send spikes of pain through his chest with every breath. His hands are cut and bleeding from the shattered plexiglass. His face is swollen from where he hit the turret wall. His feet are numb with cold. His mind is numb with fear. But he is alive. He keeps telling himself that. He is alive, and as long as he is alive, there is a chance. There is always a chance. He thinks about the emergency kit. It is still clipped to his belt. He had forgotten about it in the chaos of the crash, in the terror of the voices below. But now he remembers. Now he reaches for it. Now he opens it. The contents are meager. A small first aid kit, a compass, a map of Germany, printed on thin paper, the kind that disintegrates in rain, a chocolate bar, a canteen of water, a flashlight, a knife. A small pistol with 6 rounds of ammunition. Moran stares at the pistol. He picks it up. It is a Colt .45, standard issue, the same pistol he trained with in basic training. He checks the chamber. It is loaded. 6 rounds. 6 chances. 6 ways to die or 6 ways to kill. He puts it back in the kit. He is not ready for that. Not yet. He eats the chocolate bar. He eats it slowly, savoring each bite, making it last. The sugar hits his bloodstream like a shock. It wakes him up. It clears his head. He drinks water from the canteen. The water is cold and clean and tastes like life. Below, the men are getting restless. One of them shouts something. Another laughs. A third throws his cigarette to the ground and stamps it out. They are tired of waiting. They want this to be over. Moran looks at the tree branches around him. He looks at the way they are woven together, the way they hold the tail section, suspended above the ground. He looks at the trunk. He looks at the ground. He looks at the darkness gathering in the spaces between. An idea forms. It is a crazy idea. It is a suicidal idea. But it is the only idea he has. He waits. He waits until the darkness is complete. He waits until the men below are just shapes, just shadows, just voices in the night. He waits until he can barely see his own hands in front of his face. Then he moves. He moves slowly, carefully, 1 inch at a time. He unhooks his safety belt. He shifts his weight. The tail section groans. It shifts. It settles. Moran freezes. He holds his breath. He listens. The men below are talking. They did not hear. They did not notice. Moran moves again. He crawls out of the turret, out of the shattered plexiglass, out onto the branches that hold the wreckage. The branches are thick. They are strong. But they are covered in frost. They are slippery. They are treacherous. He grips one. He tests it. It holds. He shifts his weight onto it. It bends. It creaks. But it holds. He moves along the branch, away from the tail, away from the men, toward the trunk of the tree. The branch gets thinner as he goes. It bends more. It creaks more. Below him, the ground is invisible, a void of darkness. He does not know how far he will fall if the branch breaks. He does not want to know. He reaches the trunk. He wraps his arms around it. The bark is rough against his skin. It digs into his cuts. It hurts, but it is solid. It is real. It is not falling. He looks down. He can see the men now, their shapes darker against the dark ground. They are still there. They are still waiting. They are still watching the tail section, the wreckage, the place where they think he is trapped. They do not know he has moved. They do not know he is climbing down the other side of the tree, away from them, toward the ground, toward the forest, toward whatever freedom might exist in this enemy land. Moran climbs down. He moves from branch to branch, from handhold to handhold, from darkness to deeper darkness. His broken ribs scream. His cut hands bleed. His numb feet slip. But he keeps moving. He keeps climbing. He keeps going down. The ground comes suddenly. One moment his foot is reaching for a branch that is not there. The next moment it touches something solid. Soil. Leaves. The forest floor. He is on the ground. He is out of the tree. He is free. For a moment he just stands there. He stands against the trunk of the tree, pressed into the bark, breathing. He listens. He hears the men. They are still talking. They are still waiting. They are on the other side of the tree, 50 feet away, and they do not know he is here. He moves. He moves away from the tree, away from the men, away from the wreckage. He moves into the forest. He moves slowly, carefully, one step at a time. He places each foot with precision, avoiding twigs, avoiding leaves, avoiding anything that might make a sound. The forest is dark. It is very dark. The trees block what little light the stars provide. Moran cannot see where he is going. He can only feel his way, hand in front of him, touching bark, touching branches, touching the cold air. He hears something behind him. A shout. Another shout. The men have discovered he is gone. They have looked in the tail section and found it empty. They are angry. They are shouting. They are spreading out, searching, hunting. Moran moves faster. He does not care about noise now. He just cares about distance. He just cares about getting away. He runs. He runs through the forest, blind, crashing into branches, tripping over roots, falling, getting up, running again. The pain in his ribs is afire. The cuts on his hands are afire. Everything is afire. But he keeps running. He keeps running because if he stops, they will find him. If he stops, they will kill him. Behind him, the shouts are getting closer. They have flashlights. He can see the beams cutting through the trees, searching, sweeping, looking for him. The beams are like swords. They are like the swords of angels, casting light, revealing everything. Moran dives behind a fallen log. He presses himself into the leaves. He makes himself small. He makes himself invisible. The beams sweep over him. They pass within inches. They do not find him. He hears footsteps, heavy boots on the forest floor. They are close, very close. He can hear them breathing, he can hear them talking, he can hear them cursing. One of them stops, right next to the log, right next to where Moran is hiding. Moran holds his breath. He closes his eyes. He waits. The man stands there for a long time, a minute, 2 minutes, an eternity. He is looking at something. He is listening for something. He is waiting for something, and then he moves on. His footsteps fade into the distance. His flashlight beam disappears into the trees. His voice becomes a murmur, then nothing. Moran waits. He waits a long time. He waits until he is sure they are gone. He waits until the forest is silent again. Then he gets up. He gets up and he keeps moving. He keeps moving through the dark forest, away from the hunters, away from the wreckage, away from everything. He does not know where he is going. He does not know what he will find. He does not know if he will survive the night. But he knows one thing. He knows he is alive. He knows he is free. He knows he will keep fighting. He walks through the night. He walks until the sky begins to lighten in the east. He walks until the trees thin out, and he can see a field, a road, a farmhouse in the distance. He stops at the edge of the forest. He looks at the farmhouse. Smoke rises from the chimney. Lights burn in the windows. People are inside, German people, enemy people. He looks at his hands. They are cut and bleeding. He looks at his clothes. They are torn and dirty. He looks at himself. He looks like what he is, an escaped prisoner, a hunted man, a target. He needs help. He needs food. He needs shelter. He needs someone to trust. He looks at the farmhouse again. He thinks about going to it. He thinks about knocking on the door. He thinks about what might happen if he does. They might help him. They might hide him. They might feed him. Or they might kill him. They might turn him in. They might call the soldiers. He does not know. He cannot know. He can only choose. He chooses the forest. He chooses the cold. He chooses the hunger. He chooses to keep running, keep hiding, keep fighting. He turns away from the farmhouse. He turns back into the trees. He walks deeper into the forest, deeper into the unknown, deeper into whatever waits for him there. Behind him, the sun rises over Germany. A new day begins, a new day of hiding, a new day of hunting, a new day of survival. Moran walks into the forest. He walks until he cannot walk anymore. He finds a hollow under a fallen tree. He crawls into it. He curls into a ball. He closes his eyes. He sleeps. He sleeps because he is exhausted. He sleeps because he has no choice. He sleeps because sleep is the only escape, the only freedom, the only peace. He dreams of home. He dreams of his mother. He dreams of the kitchen. He dreams of the morning light coming through the window. He dreams he is safe. He is not safe. He will never be safe again. But for now, in the darkness under the fallen tree, in the heart of the German forest, he dreams. And while he dreams, the hunters keep hunting. The soldiers keep searching. The dogs keep sniffing. The net keeps tightening. He does not know any of this. He does not know that the men from last night have reported his escape. He does not know that a search party is forming. He does not know that the German army has been alerted, that the local police have been notified, that every road, every farm, every village for miles around is watching for him. He sleeps. He sleeps through the morning. He sleeps through the afternoon. He sleeps until the light begins to fade again, until the forest grows dark again, until the cold wakes him with its insistent grip. He opens his eyes. He listens. The forest is silent. No dogs. No voices. No flashlights. He crawls out of his hollow. He stands. His body aches. His ribs scream. His hands throb. But he is alive. He is still alive. He looks at the sky. The stars are coming out. The North Star is there, steady, constant, pointing the way west, pointing the way home. He checks his compass. He checks his map. He figures out where he is, or tries to. The map is not detailed enough. The forest all looks the same. He could be anywhere. He could be nowhere. But he knows one thing. West is the way. West is the coast. West is the channel. West is England. West is home. He starts walking. He walks west. He walks through the forest. He walks through the night. He walks until he cannot walk anymore. Then he rests. Then he walks again. The days blur together. Night and day lose their meaning. He walks. He hides. He sleeps. He walks again. Avoids people. He becomes an animal. A avoids people. He becomes an animal, a hunted animal, a creature of the forest. His clothes rot on his body. His beard grows. His hair grows. His skin becomes dirt, becomes bark, becomes something that blends into the trees. He loses track of time. He loses track of days. He loses track of everything except the West, except the North Star, except the need to keep moving, keep hiding, keep surviving. One night, he comes to a road. It is a small road, a country road lined with trees. He stops at the edge of the forest. He looks at the road. He listens. He hears something, an engine, a truck coming closer. He presses himself into the shadows. He watches. The truck appears. It is a German army truck, painted gray, loaded with soldiers. They are singing. They are drunk. They are celebrating something. The truck passes. The singing fades. The road is empty again. Moran waits. He waits a long time. Then he crosses the road. He crosses quickly, silently, like a ghost. He disappears into the forest on the other side. He keeps walking west. Another night. Another road. This time he hears something different. Footsteps. A single person. Walking alone. He waits. He watches. A woman appears. She is young. She is carrying a basket. She is walking home from somewhere. A village. A farm. A lover's meeting. Moran watches her. He could step out. He could ask for help. He could trust her. But he does not. He cannot. He does not know her. He does not know if she is kind or cruel, if she would help him or betray him. He cannot take the risk. He lets her pass. He watches her disappear into the night. He crosses the road. He keeps walking west. The days get colder. The nights get longer. Winter is coming. Moran knows he cannot survive the winter in the forest. He needs shelter. He needs food. He needs help. He needs to find someone he can trust. But who? Who in this enemy land would help an American airman? Who would risk their life for a stranger? He does not know. He can only hope. He can only keep walking. He can only keep surviving. One night he comes to a village. It is a small village, a cluster of houses around a church. Lights burn in the windows. Smoke rises from the chimneys. People are inside. Warm people. Fed people. Safe people. Moran stands at the edge of the forest. He looks at the village. He thinks about going in. He thinks about knocking on a door. He thinks about what might happen. He could die. He could be captured. He could be betrayed. Or he could be saved. He takes a step forward. Then another. Then another. He walks toward the village. He walks toward the lights. He walks toward whatever waits for him there. He does not know if he is walking toward freedom or toward death. He only knows he cannot stay in the forest forever. He walks. The village gets closer. The houses get larger. The lights get brighter. Moran walks into the darkness between the trees in the town. He does not look back. The village sleeps. Moran stands at the edge of the forest, his body pressed against the last tree, his eyes fixed on the nearest house. It is a small house, a farmer's cottage, with white walls and a thatched roof and a single window, glowing yellow in the darkness. Inside that window, someone is still awake. Someone is still alive. Someone is living a life that has nothing to do with war, with bombers, with falling from the sky. He watches the window for a long time. 10 minutes, 20, an hour. He watches the shadow move across the curtain. He watches the shape of a woman, or a man, or maybe just a trick of the light. He watches and he waits, and he tries to decide. The cold seeps into him. It seeps through his torn clothes, through his cracked boots, through his skin, and into his blood. His body shakes. He cannot stop it. The shaking is constant now, a vibration that never ends, a reminder that he is still alive, still human, still vulnerable. He thinks about the pistol in his emergency kit. 6 rounds. 6 ways to end this. 6 ways to stop the cold, stop the hunger, stop the fear. He could walk into that house and use them. He could take what he needs. He could force these people to help him. But he is not that man. He has killed men, yes. He has fired his guns at fighters, at shapes in the sky, at targets, that were not human. But he has never looked into a man's eyes and pulled the trigger. He has never seen the life go out of someone who was looking back at him. He does not want to become that man. He takes a step forward, out of the trees, into the open. His feet crunch on the frozen grass. The sound is enormous. It echoes in the silence like a gunshot. He freezes. He listens. No dogs bark. No doors open. No shouts come from the darkness. He takes another step. Another. He crosses the field. It is a small field, maybe 100 yards from the forest to the house. It takes forever. It takes no time at all. He does not know. He only knows that suddenly he is there, at the door of the cottage, his hand raised, his fist ready to knock. He hesitates. His hand hovers in the air. He thinks about what is on the other side of that door. A family. A mother and father and children. People who have been told that Americans are monsters, that American bombers kill women and children, that American airmen are devils who deserve to die. Or maybe not. Maybe they are people like him. People who did not ask for this war. People who just want to survive. People who might help a stranger because it is the right thing to do. He knocks. The sound is soft. Too soft. No one could hear it. He knocks again, harder. The wood vibrates under his knuckles. Inside he hears movement. A chair scraping on a stone floor. Footsteps. A voice, low and questioning. The door opens. A woman stands there. She is old, 60, maybe 70. Her face is lined with wrinkles. Her hair is gray and pulled back tight. Her eyes are pale blue and sharp as ice. She wears a thick wool sweater and a long skirt and wooden clogs on her feet. She holds a candle in one hand. In the other hand, she holds a butcher knife. She looks at Moran. She looks at his torn clothes, his dirty face, his hollow eyes. She looks at the blood on his hands, the cuts on his cheeks, the way he shakes with cold. She looks at him for a long time, and her face reveals nothing. Then she looks past him, into the darkness, at the forest, at the fields, at the road that leads to the village. She looks for soldiers. She looks for police. She looks for anyone who might have followed him here. There is no one. She steps aside. She gestures with the knife. Come in. Moran steps through the door. He steps into the warmth, into the light, into the smell of wood smoke and cooking and life. The door closes behind him. The latch drops into place. He is inside. The woman leads him to a chair by the fire. She points. He sits. The heat from the flames hits him like a physical force. It burns his skin. It burns his frozen hands, his frozen face, his frozen everything. He wants to lean into it, to press himself against it, to let it consume him. The woman puts the knife on the table. She takes the candle and holds it close to his face. She studies him. She studies every line, every cut, every bruise. She studies his flight jacket, his uniform, the American flag sewn onto his shoulder. She knows what he is. She knows where he comes from. She knows what he has done. She turns away. She goes to the stove. She ladles soup into a bowl. She brings it to him. She puts it in his hands. The bowl is warm. The soup is hot. It smells of potatoes and carrots and something else. Something meaty, something rich. Moran looks at the soup. He looks at the woman. He wants to say something. Thank you. I am grateful. I am not your enemy. But he does not know the words. He does not know German. He does not know anything except the soup in his hands and the fire on his skin. He drinks the soup. He drinks it too fast. It burns his mouth. He does not care. He keeps drinking. He finishes the bowl. The woman takes it from him and fills it again. He drinks that too. He drinks until the bowl is empty and his stomach is full, and the shaking finally stops. The woman sits across from him. She watches him. She says nothing. She just watches. Moran reaches into his emergency kit. He pulls out the map. He pulls out the compass. He points to the west. He points to the coast. He points to England, far away across the sea. The woman understands. She nods. She points to the floor, to the house, to the ground beneath them. She makes a sleeping gesture, hands together against her cheek. She points to the window, to the east, to the rising sun. She makes a walking gesture. She points west. Stay tonight. Sleep. In the morning, go west. Moran nods. He understands. The woman leads him to a small room at the back of the house. There is a bed. A real bed with sheets and blankets and a pillow. Moran looks at it. He cannot remember the last time he saw a bed. He cannot remember the last time he slept anywhere except on the ground, under a tree, in the cold. The woman leaves. She closes the door. Moran sits on the bed. He takes off his boots. They are cracked and ruined. He takes off his jacket. It is torn and dirty. He lies down. The sheets are clean. They smell of lavender. They smell of home. He closes his eyes. He sleeps. He wakes to light. Sunlight coming through a small window, falling across the bed in a golden rectangle. He lies still for a moment, disoriented, not knowing where he is. Then he remembers. The house, the woman, the soup, the bed. He gets up. His body aches, but less than before. The sleep has helped. The food has helped. He feels almost human again. He opens the door. The main room is empty. The fire is banked. The stove is cold. On the table there is a package wrapped in brown paper. Next to it, there is a note. Moran cannot read the note. It is in German, but he understands the package. He opens it. Inside there are clothes, civilian clothes, a wool shirt, heavy trousers, thick socks, a coat, a hat, boots. She has given him clothes. Clothes that will help him blend in. Clothes that will hide his uniform, his identity, his Americanness. He changes quickly. The clothes are too big, but they are warm. They are dry. They are not the clothes of a soldier. They are the clothes of a farmer, a laborer, a man who belongs here. He folds his uniform. He puts it in the emergency kit. He does not know why. Sentiment, maybe. Or maybe just because it is his. It is all he has left of who he used to be. He looks around the room. The woman is gone. She is not coming back. She has done what she could. The rest is up to him. He opens the door. The morning air is cold and clean. The sun is rising over the village, over the forest, over the east. He turns west. He starts walking. He walks through the village. It is small, just a few houses, a church, a store. People are out. A man loading wood onto a cart. A woman hanging laundry. Children playing in the street. They look at him. They look at his clothes, his face, his strange way of walking. They know he is not from here. They know he is something else. But they say nothing. They look away. They go back to their work. Moran walks through the village. He walks out the other side. He walks into the fields, into the farmland, into the west. He walks all day. He avoids roads. He stays in the fields, in the forests, in the places where people are not. He eats the bread the woman left in his package. He drinks from streams. He keeps moving. At night, he sleeps in a barn. The farmer's cows are warm. They do not care who he is. They do not care where he comes from. They just stand there chewing, breathing, filling the air with their warmth and their smell. He wakes before dawn. He moves on. Days pass. Weeks. He loses count. He walks through Holland, through Belgium, through places he does not know the names of. He walks at night and sleeps in the day. He avoids people. He trusts no one. But he cannot avoid everyone. One night he is crossing a road when a car appears. It comes out of nowhere, headlights blazing, engine roaring. Moran dives into the ditch. He presses himself into the mud. The car passes. But as it passes, it slows. It stops. Moran holds his breath. He listens. A door opens. Footsteps on the road. A voice. German. A soldier's voice. "Come out, we saw you." Moran does not move. He does not breathe. He presses himself deeper into the mud, deeper into the darkness, deeper into nothing. The footsteps come closer. They stop at the edge of the ditch. A flashlight beam cuts through the darkness. It sweeps left. It sweeps right. It passes over Moran's hiding place. It passes within inches. The soldier stands there for a long time. He is so close Moran can hear him breathing. He can smell his cigarette smoke. He can see the mud on his boots. And then the soldier turns away. He walks back to the car. The door closes. The engine roars. The car drives away. Moran lies in the ditch for a long time. He lies there until his heart stops pounding, until his breathing returns to normal, until the cold seeps into him so deeply he cannot feel his hands or his feet. Then he gets up. He crosses the road. He keeps walking west. Another night. Another close call. This time it is a patrol. Soldiers on foot, with dogs. Moran hears them coming from a long way off. He hears the dogs barking, the men shouting, the sound of their boots on the frozen ground. He finds a stream. He gets in it. The water is ice. It steals his breath. It steals his warmth. It steals everything. He lies in the stream, submerged to his neck, while the dogs pass by on the bank. They do not find him. They do not smell him. The water hides him. He stays in the stream long after they are gone. He stays until he cannot feel his body anymore. He stays until he is not sure if he is alive or dead. Then he crawls out. He lies on the bank, shaking, gasping, dying. He forces himself to get up. He forces himself to move. He forces himself to keep walking. If he stops, he dies. He walks. The days get shorter, the nights get longer, the cold gets deeper. Snow begins to fall. It falls softly at first, then harder, then constantly. The world turns white. The world turns beautiful. The world turns deadly. Moran walks through the snow. He walks through the forests, through the fields, through the villages he avoids. He walks until he cannot feel his feet. He walks until he cannot feel anything. He finds a barn. He sleeps in it. He wakes covered in snow that has blown through the cracks. He brushes it off. He eats the last of his bread. He walks again. He does not know how much longer he can do this. He does not know how much longer he can survive. He only knows that he has to keep going. He has to keep moving west. He has to get home. One night he comes to a river. It is wide and dark and fast. On the other side, he can see lights. Many lights. A city. He looks at his map. He figures out where he is. The river is the Maas. The city is Maastricht. He is in Holland. He is close to the border. He is close to Belgium. He is close to freedom. But the river is in the way. There is no bridge. Not here. Not in this place. He will have to find another way across. He will have to find someone to help him. He walks along the riverbank. He walks for miles. He walks until he sees something. A boat. A small boat tied to a dock, covered with snow. He looks at the boat. He looks at the house nearby. Lights are burning. Someone is home. Someone owns that boat. He walks to the house. He knocks on the door. A man opens it. He is old, older than the woman who helped him before. His face is weathered, his eyes are tired, his hands are gnarled with work. He looks at Moran. He looks at his clothes, his face, his hollow eyes. Moran points to the boat. He points to the river. He points to the other side. The man understands. He looks at Moran for a long time. Then he looks past him, into the darkness, at the river, at the boat, at the snow falling softly on everything. He nods. He goes back into the house. He returns with a coat. He puts it on. He walks to the boat. He unties it. He gestures for Moran to get in. Moran gets in. The boat rocks. The water is black. The snow falls on his face, on his hands, on everything. The man pushes off. He rows. The oars dip into the water, pull, rise, dip again. The boat moves across the river. The current tries to take it, but the man is strong. He knows this river. He knows this boat. He knows what he is doing. The other side gets closer. The lights of the city get brighter. Moran can see buildings now, streets, people moving in the distance. The boat reaches the shore. The man stops rowing. He looks at Moran. He points west. He nods. Moran gets out of the boat. He stands on the bank. He looks back at the man. He wants to say something. Thank you. I am grateful. I will never forget you. But he does not know the words. He does not know anything except the snow and the river and the man who risked his life to help a stranger. The man rows away. He disappears into the darkness. He disappears into the snow. He disappears. Moran turns west. He starts walking. He walks into the city. He walks through the streets, past the houses, past the people who do not see him, who do not notice him, who do not care. He walks until he cannot walk anymore. He finds a doorway. He sits in it. He closes his eyes. He sleeps. He dreams of home. He dreams of his mother. He dreams of the kitchen. He dreams of the morning light coming through the window. He dreams he is safe. He is not safe, not yet. But he is closer than he was. He is one river closer. One night closer. One step closer. He sleeps. And while he sleeps, the war goes on. The bombers fly. The bombs fall. The people die. But Moran does not know any of this. Moran only knows the snow and the cold and the dream of home. He sleeps. He waits for the morning. He waits for whatever comes next. The winter of 1943 is the coldest in living memory. Moran learns this not from newspapers or radio broadcasts, but from his own body, from the way the frost claims his toes one by one, from the way his fingers turn white and numb and then slowly, painfully, regain feeling when he warms them against his skin. He learns it from the frozen rivers he crosses, from the snow that falls and never seems to stop, from the bodies he finds in ditches and fields, civilians who could not find shelter, who could not find warmth, who could not find another day. He has been walking for weeks or months. He does not know anymore. Time has lost its meaning. There is only the West. There is only the next step. There is only the next breath. Belgium passes beneath his feet. He does not see it. Not really. He sees only the forests, the fields, the roads he avoids. He sees only the farms where he steals eggs from hen houses, the barns where he sleeps, the streams where he drinks. He sees only the endless white landscape that stretches to every horizon, beautiful and terrible and indifferent to his suffering. His body is failing. He knows this. He feels it in the way his steps get shorter, in the way his mind drifts, in the way he sometimes stops walking and just stands there, staring at nothing, unable to remember where he is going or why. He feels it in the cough, that has taken root in his chest, the cough that rattles his ribs and brings up blood and will not go away, no matter how much he rests. He is dying. He knows this too. He has known it for a while. The only question is whether he will die before he reaches the coast or after. He walks. One night, he comes to a village. It is larger than the others, a small town, really, with a church and a market square, and houses clustered together against the cold. Lights burn in the windows, people move in the streets, soldiers patrol the edges. Moran watches from the forest. He watches the soldiers. They are young, most of them. Boys, really. They wear heavy coats and carry rifles and stamp their feet against the cold. They are not looking for him. They are looking for warmth, for the end of their shift, for anything except an American airman hiding in the trees. Moran circles the town. He stays in the shadows. He moves when the soldiers are not looking. He is good at this now. He has had a lot of practice. On the far side of the town, he finds what he is looking for. A house. A small house, set back from the road, with a light in the window and smoke rising from the chimney. It looks like the kind of house where someone might help him. It looks like the kind of house where the woman lived, the one who gave him soup and clothes and a bed. He approaches carefully. He watches the house for a long time. He watches the shadows move behind the curtains. He listens for voices, for sounds, for anything that might tell him who lives there. He hears nothing. Just the wind, just the snow, just the beating of his own heart. He knocks. The door opens. A man stands there. He is middle-aged, with a kind face and tired eyes. He wears a sweater and trousers, and wooden clogs on his feet. Behind him, Moran can see a woman, a young girl, a table set for dinner. The man looks at Moran. He looks at his clothes, his face, his hollow eyes. He looks at the way Moran sways on his feet, the way he leans against the doorframe, the way he struggles to stay upright. The man steps aside. He gestures. "Come in." Moran steps inside. The warmth hits him like a wave. The smell of food hits him like a memory. He stumbles. The man catches him. He leads him to a chair. He sits him down. The woman appears. She brings soup. She brings bread. She brings water. She puts them in front of Moran and steps back, watching, waiting. Moran eats. He eats slowly at first, then faster, then greedily. He cannot stop himself. The food disappears. The bowl is empty. The bread is gone. He looks up, ashamed, embarrassed. But the woman just takes the bowl and fills it again. The man sits across from him. He speaks. His voice is soft, gentle. The words are French. Moran does not understand them, but he understands the meaning. "Who are you? Where do you come from? What do you need?" Moran reaches into his emergency kit. He pulls out his map. He points to the west. He points to the coast. He points to England. The man studies the map. He studies Moran. He studies the uniform peeking out from under Moran's coat, the American flag, the torn fabric, the bloodstains. He nods. He understands. He turns to the woman. He speaks to her in French. She nods. She leaves the room. She returns with blankets, with a pillow, with a place to sleep. The man points to the floor by the fire. He makes a sleeping gesture. He points to the window, to the darkness outside. He holds up 5 fingers. Then he points west. 5 hours. Sleep for 5 hours. Then go. Moran nods. He lies down by the fire. The warmth seeps into him. The blankets cover him. He closes his eyes. He sleeps. He wakes to a hand on his shoulder. The man is there, crouching beside him, his face serious. He points to the window. The sky is still dark, but outside there are sounds. Engines, trucks, voices, soldiers. The man gestures urgently. He points to the back of the house. He points to the forest. He points to the west. Go. Now. Moran gets up. He gathers his things. He looks at the man, at the woman, at the girl watching from the doorway. He wants to say something. Thank you. I am grateful. I will never forget you. But there is no time. The trucks are getting closer. The voices are getting louder. He runs. He runs through the house, out the back door, into the snow. He runs toward the forest, toward the trees, toward the darkness. Behind him he hears shouts, German shouts. The soldiers have found the house. They are asking questions. They are searching. He does not look back. He keeps running. He reaches the forest. He disappears into the trees. He keeps running until he cannot run any more, until his legs give out, until he falls into the snow and lies there, gasping, shaking, dying. He lies in the snow for a long time. He does not know how long. Minutes. Hours. He does not know. He only knows that eventually he gets up. Eventually he keeps walking. Eventually he keeps going west. He walks for days. He walks through forests and fields and frozen rivers. He walks through villages and towns and cities, always at night, always in the shadows, always alone. He thinks about the family, the man with the kind face, the woman with the soup, the girl with the watching eyes. He wonders if they are okay. He wonders if the soldiers hurt them. He wonders if they are dead because they helped him. He cannot think about that. If he thinks about that, he will stop walking. If he stops walking, he will die. And if he dies, their sacrifice means nothing. He walks. One night he crosses a border. He does not know it at the time. There is no sign, no fence, no guard. There is just a road, and on the other side of the road, a different country. France. He knows it is France because of the language. He hears it in a village he passes, the words floating through the cold air, different from the German he has been hearing, different from the Dutch, different from everything. French. The language of allies, the language of friends. He walks into the village. It is small, just a few houses and a church. Lights burn in the windows. People are inside. French people. People who might help him. He knocks on a door. A woman opens it. She is young, maybe 30, with dark hair and dark eyes and a face that has seen too much. She looks at Moran. She looks at his clothes, his face, his hollow eyes. He points to his map. He points to the west. He points to England. She stares at him for a long time, then she steps aside. She gestures. Come in. He steps inside. The house is small, barely more than a single room. A bed, a stove, a table. A man sits at the table, older, with a gray beard and tired eyes. He looks at Moran. He looks at his uniform, at the American flag, at the blood and dirt and exhaustion. The man stands up. He comes to Moran. He looks into his eyes. And then he does something Moran does not expect. He hugs him. The man hugs him like a son, like a brother, like someone who has been waiting for him for a long time. He holds him tight, and Moran feels something break inside him, something he has been holding together for weeks, for months, for an eternity. It breaks, and he cries. He cries for the first time since he fell from the sky. He cries for the men who died. He cries for the family in Belgium, the ones who helped him, the ones who might be dead. He cries for himself, for the boy he used to be, for the man he has become. The man holds him. He does not let go. He just holds him and lets him cry. When the crying stops, the woman brings food, real food, meat and vegetables and bread and wine. Moran eats. He eats until he cannot eat any more. He drinks the wine. It warms him. It soothes him. It makes him feel human again. The man speaks. His English is broken, but it is English. He learned it during the last war, the war to end all wars, the war that did not end anything. "You are safe now," he says. "We are the resistance. We will get you home." Moran looks at him. He looks at the woman. He looks at the small house, the meager food, the courage it took to open the door to a stranger. He believes them. The next weeks are a blur. Safe houses, false papers, new clothes, new names. Moran becomes Jean, a deaf-mute farm laborer who cannot speak and cannot hear and cannot answer questions. He is moved from house to house, from town to town, from one set of strangers to another. Each time they risk their lives. Each time they ask for nothing in return. He meets others like himself. A British pilot shot down over Normandy. A Canadian navigator who bailed out over the coast. An American bomber crew who walked for weeks through the mountains. They are all the same. Hollow eyes, thin bodies, the same story, the same hope, the same fear. They move together or separately or not at all. Some do not make it. Some are caught. Some disappear and are never heard from again. Moran does not ask what happens to them. He does not want to know. One night, they come to a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. It is cold and dark, and the snow is falling again. Inside there is a fire and food and people who speak English with French accents and American accents and accents from everywhere. And there is a map, a big map, spread across the table. And on the map, a line, a route, a path through the mountains, across the border, into Spain. "You will walk," the man says. "You will walk over the mountains. On the other side, there is freedom." Moran looks at the map. He looks at the mountains, the Pyrenees. They are huge. They are deadly. They are the last obstacle between him and home. He looks at his feet. They are not feet anymore. They are lumps of flesh, wrapped in rags, held together by will and hope and nothing else. He looks at the man. "When?" The man looks at the window, at the snow, at the night. "Tomorrow," he says. "Tonight you rest. Tomorrow you walk." Moran nods. He rests. He sleeps by the fire. He dreams of home. He dreams of his mother. He dreams of the kitchen. He dreams of the morning light coming through the window. He dreams he is safe. In the morning they walk. The Pyrenees rise out of the morning mist like the walls of a fortress. Moran stands at the base of the mountains and looks up. He has never seen anything like this. The peaks disappear into the clouds. The slopes are covered in snow and ice and bare rock. The wind howls down from the heights, cutting through his clothes, through his skin, through his bones. He is not alone. There are others with him. 6 men. An American bomber pilot named Jensen. A British RAF navigator named Davies. 2 French resistance fighters who will guide them through the mountains. And a woman. A young woman with dark hair and dark eyes, and a face that shows nothing. She is the leader. She is the one who will take them across, or die trying. Her name is Marie. That is all Moran knows. Marie. She looks at the men. She looks at their thin bodies, their hollow eyes, their feet wrapped in rags. She looks at the mountain. Then she looks back at the men. She speaks. Her voice is calm, matter-of-fact. She speaks in French, and one of the resistance fighters translates. "We walk for 3 days, maybe 4. There is no food on the mountain. There is no shelter. There is no help. If you fall behind, we leave you. If you cannot go on, we leave you. If you make noise, if you cry out, if you do anything to attract attention, we leave you. Do you understand?" The men nod. They understand. Marie turns. She starts walking. The men follow. The first day is hell. The trail is steep. It is covered in ice. It winds back and forth across the face of the mountain, always climbing, always rising, always demanding more than they have to give. Moran's feet scream with every step. His lungs burn with every breath. His mind drifts in and out of focus, losing track of time, losing track of place, losing track of everything except the need to put one foot in front of the other. The man behind him, Jensen, is struggling. He is heavier than Moran, less fit, less used to the cold. His breathing is ragged. At Marie's back, at the trail, at Marie's back, at the trail, at the next step. They walk all day. They walk until the sun sets, and the cold deepens, and the darkness makes the trail invisible. Then they stop. They huddle together in a hollow, out of the wind. They eat a little bread. They drink a little water. They try to sleep. Moran cannot sleep. The cold is too deep. The fear is too great. He lies in the darkness, listening to the wind, listening to the men breathing, listening to the mountain. In the morning, Jensen does not get up. They try to wake him. They shake him. They shout at him. They slap his face. He does not move. His eyes are open, staring at nothing. His body is cold. He died in the night, curled up against the man next to him, trying to stay warm. Marie looks at him. She looks at the mountain. She looks at the remaining men. "We leave him," she says. They leave him. They leave him in the hollow, covered with snow, wrapped in the darkness of the mountain. They leave him, and they keep walking. Moran does not look back. He cannot afford to look back. The second day is worse. The trail gets steeper. The ice gets thicker. The wind gets stronger. Moran's body is failing. He feels it in every step, in every breath, in every beat of his heart. He is dying. He knows he is dying. The only question is whether he will die before he reaches the top or after. Davies, the British navigator, falls. One moment he is there, walking behind Moran. The next moment he is gone. There is a cry, a sliding sound, a long silence. Moran stops. He looks back. Davies is not there. The trail is empty. Below, far below, there is a dark shape on the rocks. It does not move. Marie does not stop. She keeps walking. She does not look back. Moran walks. The third day, Moran loses track of everything. He does not know where he is. He does not know where he is going. He does not know why he is walking. He only knows that he must keep moving, must keep putting one foot in front of the other, must keep following the shape ahead of him that might be Marie, or might be a hallucination, or might be nothing at all. His mind plays tricks on him. He sees things that are not there. His mother standing on the trail ahead of him, waving, calling his name. His sister Mary, running toward him through the snow. The men from his crew, Petrocelli and Giordano and Cohen, walking beside him, talking to him, telling him jokes. He knows they are not real. He knows he is hallucinating, but he cannot stop seeing them. He cannot stop hearing them. He cannot stop wanting them to be real. Marie stops. She points ahead. Through the mist, Moran sees something. A shape, a structure, a building. The border, Marie says. Spain. Moran looks at the building. It is a small hut, a customs post, a marker between countries. On one side, France. On the other side, Spain. On one side, occupied Europe. On the other side, neutral territory. On one side, death. On the other side, life. He walks toward it. He walks past it. He walks into Spain. He does not feel different. He does not feel free. He only feels tired. He only feels cold. He only feels empty. They walk down the mountain. The trail is easier now, descending instead of climbing. The air gets warmer. The snow gets thinner. The trees get greener. They walk for another day, another night, another morning, and then they see it. The sea. Moran stands on a hillside overlooking the Mediterranean. The water is blue. The sky is blue. The sun is warm on his face. It is the most beautiful thing he has ever seen. Marie points to a cove below. There is a boat there, a small fishing boat, bobbing in the water. They will take you to Gibraltar, she says. From there, you go home. Moran looks at the boat. He looks at the sea. He looks at Marie. He wants to say something. Thank you, I am grateful. I will never forget you. But the words will not come. He is too tired, too empty, too far gone. Marie understands. She nods. She turns away. She walks back up the hill, back toward the mountain, back toward France, back toward the war. Moran watches her go. He watches until she disappears into the trees. Then he walks down to the boat. The boat takes him to Gibraltar. Gibraltar takes him to England. England takes him to a hospital, to a bed, to sheets that are clean and food that is hot and nurses who speak English and ask him questions he cannot answer. He sleeps. He sleeps for days. He sleeps for weeks. He sleeps until the dreams stop, until the hallucinations stop, until he can look at his own face in a mirror and recognize the man looking back. One day, a man comes to see him. He is an officer, a colonel, with a clipboard and a serious face. He asks questions. Where did you go? Who helped you? What did you see? Moran answers. He tells him everything. The woman in the cottage, the family in Belgium, the resistance in France, Marie, the mountain, the dead. The colonel writes it all down. He nods. He thanks Moran. He leaves. Moran never finds out what happened to any of them. He never knows if they survived. He never knows if they were caught. He never knows if they died because they helped him. He learns to live with not knowing. In the spring of 1944, they send him home. The ship crosses the Atlantic. It is a troop ship, crowded with soldiers, with sailors, with men going home and men going to war. Moran stands at the rail and watches the water. He watches for 3 days. He does not sleep. He does not eat. He just watches. On the 4th day, he sees land, America, the coast of New Jersey, the skyline of New York, the Statue of Liberty, green and beautiful, and impossibly small in the distance. He does not feel anything. He wants to feel something. Joy, relief, gratitude. But he feels nothing. He is empty. He has been empty for a long time. The ship docks. He walks down the gangplank. He stands on American soil for the first time in 2 years. There are crowds. There are bands. There are people cheering, waving flags, throwing flowers. They are welcoming the heroes home. Moran walks through them. He does not see them. He does not hear them. He walks through them like a ghost, like a man who is not really there. He takes a train. It crosses the country, through cities and towns and farms and forests. He watches it all pass. He does not sleep. He does not eat. He just watches. The train stops in a small town in Wisconsin. Moran gets off. He stands on the platform. The station is empty. No crowds. No bands. No flags. He walks. He walks through the town, past the store where he bought candy as a child, past the school where he learned to read and write, past the church where he was baptized, confirmed, married in his dreams to a girl who never existed. He comes to a house, a small house, with white walls and a green roof and a porch with a swing. His mother is on the porch. She is sitting in a chair, knitting, waiting. She looks up. She sees him. The ball of yarn falls from her hands. It rolls across the porch, across the steps, across the grass. She does not notice. She is already running. She runs to him. She throws her arms around him. She holds him. She cries. Moran stands there. He does not move. He does not cry. He does not feel anything. He just stands there, letting her hold him, letting her cry, letting her believe that he is the same boy who left 2 years ago. He is not that boy. He will never be that boy again. But he is home. The days pass. The weeks pass. The months pass. Moran learns to live again. He learns to eat. He learns to sleep. He learns to talk to people, to smile, to pretend that everything is normal. He never tells his mother what happened. He never tells anyone. He keeps it all inside, locked away, buried deep where no one can find it. Sometimes at night he dreams. He dreams of the fall. He dreams of the tail section tumbling through the sky. He dreams of the men who died, the men who helped him, the men he left behind on the mountain. He wakes up screaming. His mother comes. She holds him. She tells him it is okay. She tells him he is safe. He is safe. He is home. He is alive. But a part of him is still falling. A part of him is still in the tail of the Rikki Tikki Tavi, tumbling through the sky over Germany, waiting for the ground. That part never comes home. In the summer of 1945, the war ends. Germany surrenders. Japan surrenders. The world celebrates. Moran watches the celebrations on a newsreel in a movie theater in Madison. He watches the crowds in Times Square, the sailors kissing nurses, the flags waving, the confetti falling like snow. He sits in the darkness of the theater and watches. He does not cheer. He does not cry. He just watches. When the newsreel ends, he gets up. He walks out of the theater. He walks into the street. The sun is bright. The people are happy. The world is at peace. Moran walks home. He walks past the store, past the school, past the church. He walks up the steps to the porch. His mother is there, waiting, as she always is. He sits down beside her. He takes her hand. He looks out at the street, at the town, at the life he has returned to. "Mom," he says. She looks at him. "Yes, Eugene?" He is silent for a long time. Then he speaks. "I'm glad I'm home." She squeezes his hand. "I'm glad you're home too." They sit together on the porch, watching the sun go down over the town, over the farms, over the fields of corn that stretch to the horizon. The war is over. The falling is over. The running is over. Moran is home. But in the darkness, when he closes his eyes, he still falls. He still tumbles through the cold German sky. He still waits for the ground. He will always wait for the ground. The end.